My brother, when things like this happen, you have to be careful what you say. George Britton early today posted that he was so disappointed that KK Fosu did not attend the funeral. As to whether he spoke to KK Fosu before going to post such a thing on the World Wide Web, I will not be able to tell. My brother, my sister, I saw so many people talk about this thing and write about that on social media. Then later this morning, I started hearing interviews left, right, and center that were granted by KK Fosu. In fact, in one of the interviews, he said that John Claude has died. Should that end my life too? Nobody called me when we had the accident. No blogger called me to solidarize with me or empathize with me. Today there's a funeral and everybody wants me to attend. Whether they know I am in good condition or not in terms of my health. But there was a big question that came. You were ready to go to the Ghana Music Awards to perform an Amachide Day song and get paid. At the time you were even freshly injured. How couldn't you make it to the funeral? Well, so many answers could be given to this. My sickness got worse. He could have answered. But no, he didn't go that way. What did KK Fosu say? He said, listen, I am a musician. That is how I feed my family. At the hospital, when my family started coming in to greet me, my wife and children, I felt so down because I am the breadwinner of my family. They couldn't eat anything whilst I was away on the bed sick. Some other people had to come in and support. That was what KK Fosu said. I mean, straight away it will hit so many people to say this is quite disrespectful and unsympathetic. You still have your life. Family members still come to greet you. But one other person who was with you in the car and was a videographer of a good friend of yours who probably invited him on the trip, lost his life. Do you care about the feeling of the family? But my brother, my sister, I would not go that direction. My direction is simple. In this country, we don't take mental health seriously at all. I'm sad. My brother, there are so many kinds of phobia in the world. We have Anglophobia. We have so many phobias, my brother, my sister, that can shock you. There's a phobia of relapsing into trauma again, if I may use that word. My brother, it's called PTSD. My brother, my sister, post-traumatic distress syndrome. My brother, my sister, it is sad what it is. PTSD. A lot of American soldiers who went to Iraq. Today, if you may permit my use of this bad language, they have become vegetables. The American government is taking care of them because they have been overly traumatized. Anything that is near what they saw that traumatized them relapses them and makes them even more traumatic. My brother, it's not easy to see a friend or a colleague die right in front of your eyes. Many people never recover till they die. A few months back, there was a boat that turned over. It capsized and killed innocent school children. One girl survived. She is still suffering from PTSD. My brother, my sister, this stress is so traumatic. Just Google it and find out exactly what it means to say PTSD. And you'll be shocked what you see, my brother, my sister. It is shocking. The fear of relapsing into a traumatic situation is called PTDS, post-traumatic stress disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder. And listen, many people who have experienced trauma live in fear of what trauma and that same trauma happening again. PTSD. Remember, it's PTSD. Post-traumatic stress disorder. My brother, my sister, related anticipatory anxiety can occur as a symptom of any traumatic experience. For instance, a car crash, a mugging, or witnessing a loved one's death. I remember when my mother died in the hands of the youngest in the family, my younger brother. In fact, noises that he heard, the movement of feet of the nurses and doctors coming to that distress call in the hospital. Anytime he heard a scream, he relapsed into trauma. You know what we had to do? We had to take him out and send him somewhere else where he's still living. Anytime he comes into the house, in fact, it took a lot of therapy for him to return to the house where our mother died. PTSD is dangerous. In Ghana, we don't seem to know what it is. Our health authorities are not also doing too well with this by explaining it to people. For all you know, KK Fosu is suffering from PTSD. SD, I beg your pardon. I keep flipping the two. PTSD. Post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a disorder. So to all the people who are out there pointing fingers at him, oh, you wanted to go for the Ghana Music Awards at the time you were in the hospital, yet you couldn't make it to the funeral, and you are there talking nonsense. Please start thinking that he might be suffering from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's not a common thing in Ghana. Every sickness in Ghana is malaria. My brother, my sister, it's when you travel outside Ghana that they could tell you that you are suffering from Qatar. And in Ghana say, na Qatar so yare. Think about it. When the foul sickness came, so many Ghanaians said, but this disease, we've been eating fowls with this disease and nothing happened. They said, this is bird flu. Or say bird flu or flu bird. We will go chop the chicken. In Ghana, we are not doing too well with educating the masses. It's sad, but I will not cast a stone at KK Fosu, having gone through it myself. Sometimes some people become crazy forever, if I may use that word, because of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Even the sound of a car can trigger the trauma again, let alone going to the funeral, hearing people wail when you almost died in the same crash. Do you know what that means, Ghana? Let's be careful how we throw stones, I beg you. Coming from Tia Ahmadiyya Secondary School, when I was in Form 1, traveling all the way back to Tamale. In fact, there was a kind of bus in those days called Wakrafi. In other words, have you said bye-bye to your house? Oven. Those were the cars running there. 14-man condemned. Some people called it so. But the common name is Wakrafi. Later, the government of Ghana banned the urban buses from plying long distances like Kumasi, Tamale. The first accident I had was with Wakrafi, 14-man condemned. Kintampo, bang! And that sound, luckily nobody died, but injuries. I came out without a single injury, but I had PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I didn't want to sit in any car again. When I heard the sound of a car, it was like I was going to be in an accident. And the wailing of the people in the car when the accident occurred, anytime I heard anybody scream, it directed me straight to that accident. It's not an easy thing. Please ease it down on KK Fosu. It's not easy to be in a car and know that you escaped death by a whisker. Let alone see somebody that you were chatting with all the way from Accra die like that. All these things he's saying, please, it could be coming from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder.